All right, let's begin. So today we're going to have a discussion about MRCEM Intermediate. We'll discuss the basics of what MRCEM Intermediate exam is, how different is it from your primary exam, and why is it that so many people tend to fail it the first time around, or they need multiple attempts to pass this exam. Okay, we'll cover the basics. There's not a lot in the slides, so just don't focus on that. What I'm saying is what you need to hear, and we will discuss common misconceptions, the resources, what's the best MCQ bank you want to look for, anything and everything about MRCEM Intermediate. And then we'll discuss about the courses in particular, and then specifically about the course that we offer. Okay. All right. So these are just a little bit of details about the course because this was planned as a webinar for those interested in the course. Now, the course is going to start on the 1st of June. It's going to be both live and recorded. The format is completely online, and the investment is £99 overall. But if you register before the 15th of May, you get the early bird discount. Okay. And we have a discount for a group of 5 people as well. Now, let's get to the interesting part. So that's not interesting, but we'll cover the course details later on. Don't worry. What we are going to cover today is what this exam is all about, what the exam structure used to be, what it is now, how does that differ, what are the topics you need to focus on, especially since the syllabus is huge. And then what do we do in the course and how we cater to your requirements related to it. And then we'll open the forte for questions, but you're still encouraged to ask questions in the middle, like with the chat. Just keep asking questions in case you have a feeling that you might forget your question. Okay. Now, preparing for MRCEM Intermediate can feel overwhelming. Why? Because there's so much going on. There's so many topics, so many questions, and so much uncertainty, especially about where do I get my theory from? Like, which is the best guideline to follow? Okay. And many times, like, these are a few of the common things that candidates say to me. Don't know where to start, unsure which question types to prioritize. The exam was okay, but I don't know why I failed. Struggling to balance revision with their full-time job commitments. They're overwhelmed by so much syllabus that they cover over a course of 6 months, but then in the last 1 month, they're exhausted and they don't put in that hard work required in the last 1 month for revision. And they don't have a study plan in a structured way. So they're just revising haphazardly, doing this, doing that. And then lack of high quality, affordable resources, because out there in the market, you will find many things, and some of them might even be equivalent to the exam fee itself. So you gotta be careful
दादा कोई शेक आए
with the budget. Okay.
हाँ
All right. Now let's talk about the pathway. So your primary, if you remember, was all basics. Okay. 180 questions, 3 hours, and that's what you're doing. Not 3 hours actually. You get 90 minutes, 90 minutes questions. For SBA, you have again 2 papers, 180 questions, 1 hour break in between. But the syllabus now is SLO wise. Okay. So you have SLO 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 that are tested in your intermediate. And from 1 to 12 are then tested again in FRQ. Okay. And then you've got your OSCE, which is the last part of this exam. Now, high yield topics. There's so many. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. This is just some of the topics that I feel come quite often. But if you look at your curriculum breakdown, the first thing if anybody is going for your intermediate exam, the first thing I want you to do is print out the RCEM 2021 syllabus breakdown. You need that document in front of you so that you understand the topics you need to do. Okay, the whole breakdown. I think I have it in the drive that I've shared in the intermediate group. Like, I think I've updated it and it's there. If it's not there, after the webinar ends, I'm going to put it there. have it in print in front of you. The major SLOs, the bulk of it is SLO1, which is 60 MCQs, and then you've got SLO3 and 4, right? And we're going to go through all of them SLO-wise, but these are one of the few topics that you see quite often, like chest pain, ACS, dyspnea, respiratory failure, altered sensorium or consciousness, sepsis, septic shock, trauma, hemorrhage control, PEDS emergencies. We've got procedures, pharmacology, and then evidence-based guidelines. Like these are the common stuff that's for sure going to be tested. Now let's talk about SLO-wise, how to figure out what to study. So SLO3, all of SLO3 is on your Recess UK website, okay? You do not need any more notes, anybody else's version of those notes, even if it's a course. I know I'm running a course, I understand it, but you don't need it, okay? It's not necessary. Not everybody needs a course. If you feel you're hard pressed for a budget, you're barely affording the exam, and you don't want to take a course, you don't have to. You can study on your own. However, you do have to be consistent. The thing is, with a course, what happens is you just sit back and you have the notes and everything and you just study. But you need to choose a course carefully if you are going down that route, because many courses might have outdated guidelines, or they might be using AI to generate links or guidelines, and you want to cross-reference them. Make sure you're not learning the wrong information. So my advice is learn the right information from the right source. And the first, for SLO3, everything you need about SLO3 is in the Recess UK website. Obviously, that covers only the resuscitation part, okay? SLO3 isn't just resuscitation, it also covers palliative and end-of-life care, and you will get that from your NICE guidelines. There's a full document. And then there's also trauma and clinical presentations, so major clinical presentations with regards to some critical care stuff. And that's also part of SLO3. You might find sepsis in there. All of it is on your Recess UK website or your NICE guidelines. Pick and choose your source. You have to learn the first time around, you have to learn it from the main source. Then you can revise it later on. Now, there's another trick that I like to use. It wasn't there in my time, but I would recommend it for you. If you're not aware of Notebook LM, I'm going to leave that in there just so that you can use it, like just for your advice. Okay. Notebook LM, try it. Put Recess UK website, everything, the charts, everything in it, just for Recess, and then ask it to summarize it for you. The good thing about Notebook LM is that it cannot hallucinate like most AIs do. So it cannot make up stuff. It's only going to tell you what's in the source file that you've given it. If you give it the wrong source file, it can give you the wrong results. But if you give it the correct source file, it's going to give you exactly the same thing you need. Now, that can help you in many ways. If you just go look at Notebook LM, it's going to give you basic points. It can help you learn through a podcast. It can give you a video if you need it. Obviously, it is AI. It's going to make a very, I would say, superficial version. You need a few tries. You need good prompts to figure out what's going on. But if you leave all of that aside, if you don't need that kind of complications, just the simple chat feature asking it to give you like important points is good enough. And it has a quiz feature, and it's all free of cost, by the way. You don't need to spend money on it. The quiz feature will help you with MCQs. It will generate MCQs from the source file that you've given it, and it's going to help you revise stuff. Okay, so my recommendation would be try that instead of the question banks and stuff. Now that is SLO3. Now let's talk about SLO4. I'm going to talk about SLO1 at the end because it's the hectic most SLO. SLO4 is the next one that carries a lot of marks of 30 questions. And again, it includes pain, sedation, and major trauma according to your guidelines, according to your RCEM curriculum. And I have mentioned some of these topics here, if you can see. However, if you have RCEM subscription, the RCEM Learning subscription, then you have access to all SLOs. You can study. Just for SLO3, it's Research UK, but for all other SLOs, you have everything in one place. So RCEM Learning is the way to go. You can select major trauma in the section there, and I can show you, I'll show you at the end of this webinar how to like figure out what to do with RCEM Learning so that you have some understanding. If you're not a member, please become one. It's going to save you some money on your exam and you get access. That is one part where I would say, please spend your money. It's not that expensive. It's just £45 for low income affiliate membership. And I would say that is worth its price, please. For SLO5, again, RCEM Learning, best resource. For SLO6, RCEM Learning works just as well. For SLO7, RCEM Learning does work, but SLO7 kind of overlaps with SLO 8 to 12, which is FRChem level. So you might be confused as to what to do. So my suggestion would be to just open your curriculum. Oh, sorry. Open your curriculum, the 2021 guidelines, and you will see the topics. So the topic mentioned, like legislation, read up on it, legal framework, read up on it, organ tissue donation, information governance, safeguarding, evidence, and all of it, just read up on it. Now, it can be confusing, and we do cover it. I do have a comprehensive part of it in my course. Now, there are people who would be like, I don't want to take the full course, and I just want SLO7. SLO7 guidelines recently haven't changed. I do have last year's videos up on my Patreon, which is just SLO7 that you can purchase for, I think, £5. So there are 2 lectures that you can get. You get the MCQs and you get the comprehensive. So that is just for those who are looking to get just SLO7, because SLO7 is complicated. There are not a lot of questions, but these are just extra stuff and you get access to them. That is one thing. If you're not looking to like get a full course and just SLO7, then that's an option. Other than that, now let's talk about, I think that's done for the rest of these SLOs. Now let's talk about the major one, SLO1. SLO1, most amount of questions, 60 questions. The syllabus is massive. Okay, it's a lot, and I understand it. Now, previously, we used to recommend saying go through Oxford Handbook. I wouldn't recommend that anymore. The reason is so many guidelines have changed. There's so much new stuff coming in, and you spend time wasting on Oxford Handbook because you're worried you will learn the wrong thing. And you don't have time to learn the wrong thing and then unlearn it and then learn the right thing again. So for this one, again, I would recommend RCEM Learning, but whenever you do something in RCEM Learning, and I'll show you what I mean by do something like the learning modules, at the end of it, they have some references. And in those references, I want you to go and find the NICE guideline reference and then open that. Now, NICE guidelines are massive, okay? The references can be huge. The document can be like 12, 15 pages, but they have a pie chart infographic version, and they also have a summarized version of the same thing that you can download. My recommendation would be to download that and put it in your Notebook LM folder. Make a file in your Notebook LM with the heading SLO1, okay? Make the file as SLO1 and then put NICE guidelines there. That will really help you with SLO1, believe me. We did this last course, okay? I tried helping people out in my last course with this method where I tell them what to do, okay? We didn't do a detailed course last year, but I just helped candidates out with self-study because I found that the most common problem all of you were having was looking for a study partner. And the timings don't match. The shifts don't match. Your way of studying doesn't match the other person. So we thought, why not put AI as your study partner and try that? And Notebook LM is going to be your study partner. It's going to hold you accountable, get you to study. So make an SLO1 kind of folder, put NICE guidelines there, and then whenever you're doing MCQs or whenever you're learning a certain topic, You just ask it, tell me about allergy, tell me about cardio, tell me about this topic and that, and it will give you the guidelines in a good way. And it cannot hallucinate, so it cannot make stuff up. In the chat feature only, by the way. Okay. The other features like video, audio, podcast, and stuff, it might make a mistake. So I wouldn't put too much into that unless you've learned how to use it effectively with good prompts and you've done the hit and trial method. If you do the generic version, it can make mistakes sometimes. Okay, be careful. With SLO1, you have roughly about 25 topics. Okay, you've got allergy, cardiology, dermatology, ENT, elderly care, endo. All of these topics are present in this list on your RCEM Learning. Just do them topic wise. That's all you have to do. That's it. Only 2 resources so that you're not distracted, you're not going anywhere. And for note taking or revision, you're using Notebook LM as your note resource. That's where you have the rapid revision points, the bullet points, and tell me about this and that and teach me stuff. Okay? Because I don't want you distracted with so many resources. Just these, good enough. You don't need anything else. Okay? Now, that is about the exam. Now let's talk about how are we preparing for the course. So the most common problem I found was with the basic concepts. Candidates were having trouble with concepts. Some of them were having trouble with the theory concept. Some were having trouble with the MCQ type. Like sometimes they ask most important management plan. Sometimes they ask most initial. Sometimes they ask the definitive, and these kind of tricky questions. To cater to this MCQ problem, we have a few videos on our YouTube channel. Please go watch them now before you apply for the exam, and then watch it again in the last month of your exam, just as a revision, that what kind of questions can come and how to tackle those questions, the rule of elimination, and how to smartly answer these MCQs when it comes to SBAs. Okay. Now about the course, by the 1st of June, we're not going to give you all of the videos at once because I feel like you're not going to listen or watch them. So we are going to break it down. We're going to start with SLO3 and SLO1 first. The first month from June to the end of June is when we're doing SLO1 and SLO3. And initially, the first few videos are going to be about SLO3. We'll share the videos and then we'll make you do MCQs in your Telegram groups. Okay, these MCQs are self-directed. So you answer them on your own and we give you the answers, and that's just a discussion. This is not mock level where we analyze you. This is just your practice, just to see if you understand the concepts. Then we move on to SLO1 and we do it topic wise. So we will do from allergy, for allergy, and down to vascular, all of it. Stepwise, you'll have a video for each topic. You are still studying on your own as well with RCEM. We are also going to be sharing stuff about the same topic, like do this, do that. These are the important topics. This is what you want to cover, because obviously the topics are really vast. The videos are going to come, 3 to 4 videos will be shared a week. And whenever a video is uploaded, we will let you know, or you will obviously be able to see it and watch it. And then again, MCQs will be shared in the group and you are highly encouraged to do them as we go along. Okay. Then when we come down to 20th of August, now before 20th of August, we will finish all the syllabus. June is SLO3 and 1, and then we go from SLO4, 5, 6, and 7 till 20th of August. Those are just lesser topics, so easy to do. And then from 20th of August, we're going to start with our live lectures. And these live lectures are not going to be detailed. Okay? These are going to be rapid revision, because by this time, our expectation is that you should be revising. Okay? And because the syllabus is too broad, you cannot just revise it in a very confined time period. So from 20th of August, the revision is going to go as follows. We're going to do 2 SLO1 live sessions with mentors who are going to help you revise with MCQs, and we'll cover like the for sure stuff that's going to come. For example, PE guidelines, pneumothorax guidelines, ACS, stuff like that. Okay, we'll revise it. Then we'll have SLO3, 2 sessions on SLO3, live sessions with rapid revision. We'll have then 2 sessions on SLO4 where we will revise everything and go through all the pictures and stuff that commonly come in your exam. Then one session each for SLO5, 6, and 7. Okay, so these are the live sessions. Roughly 7, 8, 9, 10 live sessions. Then before the exam, the weekend before, we are going to consider doing, not consider, for sure doing a 2-day rapid revision where we will do past recalls or common exam themes, I would say, not recalls. Common exam themes. And we have special sessions where we cover ECGs and every type of image that you will ever see in your exam. We'll cover it, okay? Just before your exam so that you have it fresh. A lot of images come in the intermediate exam and they're a pain in the neck and you need to know them. So we'll do that. And the last week before your exam is also mock. These are the mocks that are actually analyzed and targeted, and 80% is your passing mark in these ones. This is where you do them in a Google quiz form. So you get your results, you see which ones you didn't get right, and we discuss them and we sort them out. And that the mocks are first SLO-wise, and then half mocks, and then full mocks. That's how it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, we just covered all of it. So we have 2 more mentors that cover a lot of stuff alongside by me. But if you still have trouble with understanding, we make sure that we can, help you out and do everything in our power to help you. You also get like revision notes, last minute revision, PDFs, things like that, just to help you consolidate everything. We've already discussed this, the early birds up till 15th, and we just have a total of 20 seats, okay? The reason is I have to give individual attention to everybody, so I cannot have a big batch. I need to analyze your weaknesses and then work on your weaknesses with you. So we carefully decide on how many people to have. So 20 seats is the plan. That's the maximum we can go. Okay. Here you go. There's nothing else. We've already discussed all of these things. I don't need to go over them again, honestly. Okay, so a little bit about me. Why am I doing this? Well, because I gave this exam 3 times. Okay. I did not have the guidance that I think I needed. Everybody said Oxford Handbook and just MRCEM Success and exam prep and things like that. And at the end of the day, it did not help me pass my exam. Okay. Maybe there are people out there who did pass it. I wasn't one of them. I struggled with a lot of things and I had to then build my own understanding. And the resources I used the 3rd time around were the ones that helped me, plus a mindset shift. I was trying to look for shortcuts the first 2 attempts. I was trying to be like, okay, fine, I'll leave that and it's okay. But I think it cost me my exam. I should not have looked for shortcuts or give a premature attempt. My first attempt was a premature one just right after primary, and I was confident I could do it because I did primary in 2 months. But that's not how intermediate works. So be careful. Do not expect to go into this exam underprepared. You are just setting yourself up for failure and disappointment. And second, the guideline that I needed was RCEM Learning. I was ignoring it or not taking it seriously enough. I just thought that looking up, like going after recalls and doing shortcut stuff and notes would help me. When looking back now, I believe if I had the authentic resource, it would have been a lot better. Yes, recalls can help you, but recall questions are 20, maybe 30 in your exam. And those questions you would have been able to do anyway, because they're very simple ones. The exam will test your nerves and your presence of mind. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you haven't studied properly, if you haven't revised properly, you're going to struggle. So I hope that helps. I feel like I've covered, like, because I've given this exam 3 times, I have gone through the syllabus more times than most people. and have exhausted more question banks. So I've gone through every question bank throughout the 3 attempts that I gave. And for context, by the way, I passed my primary in the first attempt and OSCE in the first attempt without any courses. And intermediate, I didn't take any courses, but it was a hit and trial method. I did buy a lot of Q banks. Like I went for Success and Expert and so many others. And the only one that helped was RCEM Learning. That was the only one that helped. None of the other ones were comprehensive enough. And so you end up buying these five MCQ banks and you don't complete any of them. And then by the end of the exam, you're just struggling. So take what you will from this story, I suppose. Okay. Just last few words. You can visit our website to register for the exam now, or just leave me a message if you're interested. I know some of you reached out and wanted to enroll before the webinar, and I encourage you to just wait. See if this actually is a fit for you before you decide, because I don't want you disappointed, okay? Obviously, even if you're not going for the course, you are going for the exam, please use the resources I've told you. Recess UK, free of cost. RCEM Learning, if you become a member, it's free. And Notebook LM is free. Use it for your advantage. It's really, really good. Okay, any questions? That is the end from my side. I'm open to questions. And if there are no questions, I would like to quickly jump into RCEM Learning to show you what I mean about your practice and study. So, questions, anybody? This is my RCEM Learning, okay? And when you have the membership, this is the page that opens when you log in, right? Now, if you go here, if you see this learning, you see these topics. Oh, sorry, you see all of these topics here. You do all of them topic wise. Okay. Second, do you see exam prep here? Now, in exam prep, you have SBA revise. How to tell if you're ready for the exam is that you should be able to score at least 60 to 70% in these like SBA revise. Okay. So if you go to all SBA revised, these are all that you can do. If you're able to answer, at least these are 12, by the way. So do all of them and see how much you score. If you're scoring less than 30, 40%, you're in trouble. If you're scoring about 60 to 70%, then in 4 months, we can build on that knowledge. It's good enough. And I'll show you like what it looks like. I'm just going to open one of these to like show you what the MCQ is going to look like. So this is what it is. Start SBA revise, and then you can revise it by looking at it. You see this? So these are like SBAs with images and everything to help you revise, okay? I do sometimes share these questions in our open group. Second, if you are actually trying to learn, how do you do that? You have this section here, which is SBA. You can do this like this, but I feel like because when you click on SBA, it's like too many things, too many topics, and I like my stuff organized. So then what you do is go here and you see here recess. This is what we want to focus on for now. So I'm going to click on recess. And now it opens up only recess related questions. Okay. If I want to study, like look, learning session is where I learn. This is where you will learn. Okay. Do them one by one, all of them, guys. These are a lot. Okay. This is a lot of syllabus. Look at this. Quite a lot, isn't it? All of them are part of your exam content. Anything can come. And they have updated a lot of guidelines. So please go through this. Then, once you're done with the learning session for SLO3, you will do SBA. And now you're testing yourself. All of these are SBAs. You also have SAQs. These were old ones that you can also do just to double check your concepts are consolidated. Then you have references. These are your notes. This is where the learning session is made from. Okay, learning session and SBA. So if you're looking for like a theory, where do I study this topic? It's in references or blogs. Blogs and references, both of them. Blogs are a bit longer. References are a little bit concise, but this is where your theory comes in. Okay. Now, here I mentioned references. Here, if you go in references, you will find a lot of things here, but you can also look for nice guidelines. Or like this is a algorithm for difficult airway society. You see this? If I click on it, it's going to give you the algorithm you need. Probably they might have shared it in there as well, but like this is the algorithm. Okay. If you want to go to the reference, look at the algorithm, and now you have all of this with you. Easy to revise, isn't it? This one, this one, this one. Okay. So that's how you study. And there are learning bites. They have already given this in the picture anyway. Like you see, all of it's given. The algorithms are there, equipment, the management, everything. You have the lemon, the moans, study. So you have everything here. You do not need any other resource. So now once you're done with recess, like I said, so once recess is done, you move on to, this is all SLO1, okay? Now, you might notice that there's not a lot of PEDS here. The reason is PEDS is here. And it's kind of mixed. In recess, you will see PEDS. In your SLO1 topics, all of these, you will find PEDS mixed. But if you need specific PEDS, just go here in the induction panel and select Chem. And these are all PEDS related topics, okay? You can study these. Your exam is going to come from just these topics, nothing else, don't worry. Then if you see here, you see ECG and focus, okay? These are the ECGs that you will see in your exam. All of them, this is what it is, okay? And your ECG induction module is one of the best ones, I'll tell you, because this one, oh, this has an induction quiz as well. But if we ignore the induction quiz, it will just tell you like what to look for, what are the patterns you want to look at. So it's a good thing to have. Then you also will find a lot of diagrams in there, a lot of x-rays. For example, if I go to surgical emergencies here, you will see a lot of x-rays. These are the x-rays that will be tested. You will see ultrasound skills. You will see CT scans. So all of these, this is all you need. This is exactly what you need. I hope this was able to clear your concept about RCEM learning and help you like make sense of it. Anything else I can help you with before we say goodbye?